Let me bang.
I do let you bang. Hey,
let me bang you, man.
I let you bang. I let you bang.
Greetings, marrieds and virgins.
Go for Jesus. No for gay Jesus, people.
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time once again for your favorite mixed martial arts podcast. Recording out of Los Angeles, California, it's MMA Roasted with Adam Hunter.
Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that?
Hey, welcome to a brand new MMA Rodcast. Everybody, welcome to a brand new MMA Roasted Podcast. I got roasted in podcast confused.
Right out of the gate.
Right out of the gate. It's gonna be a great show. We got the crew back. We got Don Frye calling in. We got McCorkle. We got the Greg Romero Wilson. It's gonna be a great show. I'm excited about this. Just been a crazy week, man. I was so happy. I did a live outdoor show last week. It was in Arizona. It was like me, Jamie Kennedy, Bill Dawes, Ahmed Ahmed, Jonathan Kite from Two Broke Girls. Who else was on? It was just a Katie Kozzola.
I saw that, and was it an outdoor show?
Yeah, it was an outdoor show, and it was a lot of fun. But they it was one of those things. They gave us no restrictions. They didn't say, "Hey, you got to be clean," blah blah blah, which was great. But it started at 6:00, and
oh boy,
and it's a huge it was a huge field, 400 people showed up, but there was like a huge playground next door. All these kids were playing. So the first comic goes up.
Oh man.
First comic goes up. It goes, "Who's into masturbating?" Right? And everyone's like, "Woo!" And he's like, "Great. So I'm going to jerk off all over the crowd." Right? So everyone starts laughing, but the playground clears out. He got I was like,
good. I'm glad. It's better than looking and seeing 100 kids against the fence. Like, go on.
I was like, "Bro, you walked the playground." And it was, and then it was followed by blowjob jokes, which is great. As a comic, I love it when an opener is dirty, not too dirty where it's just, everyone's just covered in jizz, which literally was what would have happened if that joke came to life. But it was great. So now I'm not going to get I'm not going to get the complaint for being dirty,
Right. He's opening it that way. So, I mean, they're definitely all focused on that. After that, who's to blame? It's like.
Right. So they were all laughing. They were all laughing. And the crowd was great, but it was just whoa. So that was cool. And then it was fun because me and Jamie Kennedy, I know Jamie for years. We've done a couple business deals together, and they haven't gone well. Let me just say that. We just he was into Kamikaze comedy, and then I went to pitch. I sold Kamikaze to a network, and the network called me up, and they're like, "We just got pitched a show we just bought from you," and he didn't have the rights to sell it at that time. And I was like, "What?"
Whoops.
And then it was nothing else where we did.
Because generally though, Jamie's a great guy. I mean, really nice. Not like an uppity, I'm a celeb. Remember, he doesn't act celeb-y at all.
I love Jamie. I love Jamie as a person, but as a business guy, because he was like, "Yo, bro, why don't we sell that show together?" I'm like, "Cause you ripped me off 3 times." He's like, "What?" And then that was backstage, but we talked it out, and I'm gonna go on his podcast, and we had a big laugh, which was cool. How was your weekend?
It was good, I mean, the wife and I, we've been looking at new places ourselves. And so we went in, but just bigger, better apartments. That's all. We aren't ready to buy just yet. So actually the original plan was to buy, and then the pandemic hit and all the interest rates dropped, but I had no provable income. So, so we weren't able to move forward with it. So now we're just like, well, maybe we'll just get a new apartment or something. So we've been looking at stuff. I don't know. But honestly, here's what happened. She's looking at places online, and I told her, I was like, listen, whether we really like it or not, schedule a viewing anyway, just to get out of the house.
Yeah.
So we literally go on these viewings because there's no pressure. We don't have to leave. I mean, we would like to, but we don't have to. So there's no okay, we got to take a place. So because of that, we've gone. I think we've seen 30 places by now, 30 apartments, because we don't really have to, and it's something to do. So we go, we look at the apartment. I make jokes about it the whole time. I'm like, okay, so does a half a roll of toilet paper come with the apartment, or did the clean guys take that with them? Shit like that. One place had like an old satellite dish, like DirecTV dish, like under the cubby space. I'm like, okay, but we do get to keep the dish, right? The dish is ours. We rent the place. We keep the dish. So I'm totally like making jokes all the time during these tours because it's the one thing that we do. It's the only time we leave the house. So yeah, that's basically what we're up to.
I got banned from looking at houses because I was making too many jokes like that.
Yeah, I could totally see your wife being like, you know what? I'll do it myself. I can't take the jokes.
So we just bought a house. McCorkle, you got new Wi-Fi.
Yeah, how's it looking? I know I'm looking good.
Oh my God.
Is it looks great. On time, no delay, no anything?
No, it looks great.
It looks fantastic, dude.
Yeah, that's Elon Musk, but he's got a Starlink. He's launching an internet service provider. So I signed up specifically for this podcast. I signed up to be a tester of it, and it's working great. It's actually creepy. You plug it in, and the satellite just starts moving around on its own to all different angles, calibrating itself, and then points the direction of the satellite. So yeah, that's what we need to get Don, man. We need to get Don some Starlink. It's not that expensive.
Absolutely. Get him to sign up for that. Yeah, no, have him be one of them. That's genius. Because that is the problem is guys outside of the major urban areas, everyone, is the only option they've had really is super slow dial-up using a landline or the satellite one, which is just as bad. So this is great. Yeah. Of course, leave it to Elon Musk. That guy. What a guy.
You think it's him or he's just being pitched the best ideas for people? Like, I think it's like part of him or it's part that when you're that successful, everyone comes to you with the best idea.
I think it's both. I can see him. I think it's also you have an idea and you have the resources to run with it.
Yeah.
I think it's that. I think he thinks, oh my God, what if we did this? And he can just tell a team of engineers, here's what I want to do. And they start working on it and you have the money to pay them to do it. I think that's the game maker right there.
Right. No, 100%. So I went to, but being outside reminded me of like what I missed something I missed the most from just being free, like having things open, are throwback concerts. I used to go to those 90s.
Oh yeah.
Concerts. Those were some of the first of all, the best that I think were like the R&B ones from the 80s.
Yeah, dude.
Because like now you go to a concert, it starts 3 hours late. Like those start on time. Like even like early, like the woman gets out of the parking lot and starts singing.
Because they want to make sure the act doesn't die before they perform. So
exactly. They have to have dinner at 6. They have to be home by 8:30. I mean, it's a very set schedule for these acts.
There's babysitters involved and like. So
I saw Boys and Men for $15 in Las Vegas. Way back in the day, and I couldn't believe like they only drew about 100 people for $1,500 or $15 a piece. I was trying to figure out who was paying them. I know the casino is, but it doesn't make any sense. Like nobody's showing up, and it's not very expensive. It's kind of like a Brendan Schaub stand-up comedy thing. Like who's the fool? Find a way. So
here we go.
I actually worked on a cruise one time, and Boys to Men was on the cruise. It was like,
awesome. And they also didn't like Brendan Schaub.
And it was one of those things where like. They thought they were going to sell out the whole cruise, but only like 30% of the cruise was like there for Boys to Men. And I ended up wandering into their Q&A by accident. It was like my first cruise ever. And the 3 of them are on stage and people are asking questions. And someone's like, when are you to come to Dallas? And one guy was like, look around. We ain't doing too well. And then the next question was like, so how many kids do you have? And one guy was like 3. The other guy was like 2. Third guy was like, I like to fuck. Like it was like.
It was that the skinny one that isn't the brother?
No, it was the chubby one. It was the chubby. It was like, okay. Like 1 or something, or like so. But they were cool. Like I actually became a fan of the Q&A and then the show. But I remember I went to one in Long Beach. It was like 30 artists, right? It was like Biz Markie, and then it was Cool Modi. But somehow like when Rex and Effects came on, like they have the rump shaker, shake your rump. Mm-hmm. So they invited
their only song.
They invited.
I was going to say, thank you. I was like, yes, you mean their hit. Yes, yeah. Go on.
So they invited women to come on the stage and like shake their rump, who probably had like nice rumps in '92 when like.
Right. Oh my God.
But and like at this point, it was just too much rump on stage. It was like.
Oh my God.
It was a lot of rump. It was.
Said no black man ever.
So then,
I don't know.
Then, like, for some reason, like their mic wasn't working, like they couldn't hear themselves, so they were like trying to stall. You could tell they were trying to stall, but like they were like, "Yo, give it up for Snoop Dogg," because it was in Long Beach, but he wasn't even there. So everyone's looking around for like Snoop Dogg, and then
my God!
like give it up for the aquarium. Like they were just naming shit in Long Beach. Like
that's literally like the first show that Snoop Dogg wasn't at.
But then the next guy went on, Al B. Shore, explained to everyone he couldn't hear himself. Then it was supposed to be, and Bobby Brown went on, and Bobby Brown sang the truth about Roni, but did like a 30-minute version of it. So people were like, he was like doing other songs in between, and people were like, "We don't give a fuck about Roni." like 10 minutes in.
I didn't realize that his original song was just called Roni, but apparently there's a Truth About Roni version that came out also that really tells the truth. You know what cracked me up about Boys to Men? You were talking about it, man. I would always crack up because I guess the dark or the deep voice guy is no longer with the group. The one always had a cane, but he would have a cane in the videos, barely walking, and all of a sudden all four of them would be dancing completely out of control. Like the cane didn't affect him then. And then every time he would talk, like if you listen to the song Into the Road, like that girl they're describing in that is obviously a slut. He's like, "You know, baby, all those times you was banging all those other dudes, I didn't care. You know, like all those times I caught you in bed with another man, baby. I just loved you." It's like, dang, how many years let all her dirty laundry out? Why do you want her so bad? She's banging 40 dudes, according to you. Like, "You know, baby, those 78 times you cheated on me, I just forgave you, baby. I love you."
It's like cucks to men, you know. So then, then like I remember seeing DMX, and he had like 17 people behind him. And he was like, "Yo, these are my kids," right? But they weren't even like one was like 50. Like they were like, right. You know? And then he's like, and then he starts naming them. I think he forgot some of their names. He's like, "Yo, my bad." Like and then he was, I don't know.
Every parent does that.
Dude, that DMX put on an amazing show, but he started saying things like, he's like, "Yo, Bible verse, Psalm 34:8, you know, blessed is the one who takes refuge in the Lord." Then he's like, "Fuck my bitches," like the song followed by like,
oh my God, wow.
Like he was the best. But then I saw Keith Sweat and Bobby Brown, and Bobby was supposed to go before Keith Sweat, but he was late. The show was at 9:00 at night, but somehow he was late. So then Keith Sweat went on and did like 6 hours instead. Like he wouldn't get off. So then like Bobby came on, he was like, "Yo, Keith Sweat did all my time. They're making me get off." After like 2 songs, and I'm yelling like, "Don't be cruel," you know, like it's his prerogative. like everyone's mad about this, and
like,
it was,
"Give us the truth about Roni."
The thing I felt actually bad for was a couple of them, like Next. You know that song Next, "Baby When You're like they have that. That back your dance.
Wow, you're digging deep in the bag for this one. Okay.
But they were there, but like there was 3 of them, and like 2 of them are ripped, and one of them kept his shirt on, which didn't look like when they were dancing. Like one was like out of shape, but like
right.
It's like the male version of Wilson Phillips.
Like yeah, right. Like
Jesus.
And then when TLC came on. Like they show what they used to look like, right? When they were just banging, like in a video. And then they came out and everyone just like immediately felt really old. You know, like they were like, "Fuck, we're old," you know?
Yeah.
Because one of them is like sick. You know, like she's got like lupus or something. Like she's bigger.
One of them's dead.
Yeah, one of them is dead.
Yeah. Is it just me, or is the improved internet actually made McCorkle funnier?
So then one of them is dead. And then, but one of them is ripped. Like one of them is Chili is like shredded. And then when they had Red Light Special, they should have just took the song out because Chili was giving lap dances to some dude in the crowd while the other one was singing next to her, you know, T-Boz. And it was kind of sad, you know, because you remember them all giving lap dances, you know. But it looked like it was that girl at the club who wants to leave, but her friend is like whoring it up.
Right, but her friend is still getting off. Yeah.
It's like that group where the friend wants to leave, the other friend dies in a plane crash.
All right, okay, we're not gonna.
Oh, come on, McCorkle, God damn it! You know we end up going down with you. You realize that, don't you? Jesus.
That's what.
We went to one of those concerts. We went to the K-Day back in the day fest, and it was headlined by Snoop Dogg, and it had like all the other guys in it. Warren G, all these guys, right? So it's a great concert, and we get there, and of course, it has like 13 acts, and like you said, starts at like 2 p.m. Okay, so we get there, and everyone's like going wild, and there's so much weed being smoked, so much weed. Okay, then Snoop Dogg comes on like 4.5, 5 hours later, and at this point, there's a bunch of old people now that have been stoned for 4 hours, and everyone's asleep. All the people, everyone in the audience.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking pass the fuck out. And then they're like, oh, Snoop's on. Yeah. Snoop.
Yeah.
It was hysterical. Everybody passed out.
Did you guys see Snoop talking shit to Dana White this week?
No. Oh, yeah.
No.
So Dana put $1 million on Ben Askren. Beating Jake Paul. Someone else could be like, it's the second time Dana's going to lose betting on Ben Askren.
Nailed it.
So Dana White is put on Ben Askren, and Snoop's like, fuck that. I'll put $2 million on Jake Paul. And Jake Paul said he'll take the bet. And then Jake Paul said he wants to fight Dana too.
Which I'm sure Dana was shaking his shoes when they said $2 million. Like, oh, I can't do that much, Snoop. I only have $17 trillion.
But still, I don't know, man. I think that's a bad bet for Dana. I don't know. I want Ben Askren to win. I will give anything to see Ben Askren win. I just don't know if he's going to win in boxing. The other guy's in boxing every day for the past 5 years. And Ben.
Yeah, and he's terrible at boxing. I mean, that's what it comes down. The guy could be boxing for the last 5 months, and he'd probably still be better than Askren. Unfortunately, I mean, just because we've seen it. We've seen that. It's the one thing he's terrible at.
And Ben has had 2 hip replacements the past year, too. That doesn't help either.
Just remember, I'm calling it now. Ben is going to walk through him.
Really?
I really believe it, man. I was thinking about it.
I'd be the happiest person in the world.
You got to remember, if Ben had fought a homeless guy and a guy that played basketball never fought, he would look amazing standing up, too. So it's easy when you're fighting homeless people to look really good, man. But I think Ben obviously has a chin that's amazing, you know what I mean, or whatever. He's got cardio that's going to be amazing. I want to see how Jake does once he starts getting hit back, assuming Ben can land everything. Because there's going to be a lot of dirty boxing. He ain't going to just stand there and trade with him. He's going to grab, hold, throw punches, and it's hard. I know Ben can take a beating. I mean, you saw what he took from Robbie Lawler and came back. And Lawler hits harder than Jake Paul ever dreamed about. So I think,
but he came back because he put him in a headlock. I don't know. I mean,
right.
Can't put the guy in a headlock this time.
But do you think, no way Jake Paul takes that beating and comes back to do anything. If Robbie Lawler hit him and slammed him like that, Jake Paul would be knocked out. So we know he's got
we don't know. I mean, we don't know.
No, we know as far as a beating, I think he could take more of a beating, but usually the guy who takes more of a beating isn't the guy that wins a fight. We're just saying he could take more of a beating.
No, I'm saying he could stay in there. If it gets rough, he's going to be able to hang in there. If they're exchanging, kind of like Mark Hunt, you got to hit you. He'll take 3 to give you 1, but his one's going to count. I think Ben's going to wear him down and beat the brakes off of him in the second or third round. That's what I think.
But we're also assuming
we all hope to see that. That's for sure.
We're assuming the ref won't stop the fight early too, and the ref.
Right.
So
well, man, the reason I would have bet $1 million on Mayweather when he fought Conor. The reason I probably won't bet on this fight is I don't trust. Not that it's Ben or anybody else. When there's that much money involved, if you could lose and make $500,000, or win and make $500,000, or lose and make $3 million. Or whatever. Like I would not be shocked that if there's some shenanigans around that fight, like paying somebody to lose.
Especially since it's basically stunt fighting. It's not like sanctioned by any organization that's overseeing it.
Yeah, and it's not going to count on your legacy or whatever if you got beat up by. I mean, if you could I don't know. Ben's already got money though, so maybe not. But it's I told him when I fought Pujanowski, they hinted around they would pay me to lose, and I said, well, I don't mind throwing a fight, but it's going to have to be like life-changing money. Not like. I love one time, Bob Sapp told me one time that they paid him $50,000 to lose a fight. And he said, what they didn't know is I was going to lose anyway. He said, they just gave me $50,000 for nothing. I started cracking up. Like,
he told us that too.
Yeah, it was funny.
That's like his favorite story, apparently. He's telling somebody in a bar that story right now.
That is so funny. So I got booked, Greg, to do a show at a nudist colony. Next month. But I don't have to be naked. I told them I'm not going to be naked. I knew a comic.
Are you gonna wear a salad leaf, or what are you gonna do?
I'm just gonna wear my clothes. First of all, I knew a comic that did a nude cruise, He did a show on a cruise, and everyone was nude on the cruise. He said there was like one hot girl. The most.
I was gonna say it sounds gross.
And they said that like they turned off the air conditioner, so it just smells like human like dirt and sweat and stink. But he said he was the comic, and he got a complaint he was too dirty on the show.
That sounds right. There you go.
The last thing you want is somebody ruining the wholesome nudist cruise. Like you don't want, you know.
He was probably making fun of them, and they were like, "Shut up! Don't talk about my folds."
Yeah, there was one of the funniest cruise stories was a guy who was telling me that, like, you know, because they have these like theme cruises, like they have like a Kiss cruise. Everyone dresses up as Kiss. I actually did. I went on that one. That was pretty badass. But it was like then they had like, but some of the times they book the person, but they don't sell out the whole cruise, like for the Boys to Men. So Richard Simmons, they gave him a cruise, right? But he only sold like 300 tickets or something. So the rest of the cruise was just a regular cruise, right? But they didn't tell anyone that, hey, by the way, Richard Simmons is on this cruise. So my friend said he was eating breakfast in the dining hall, and all of a sudden Richard Simmons like jumps on the dining table and starts dancing, and all these fat people start dancing, and everyone's looking around going like, what the fuck is going on right now? Like, and like no one had known it was a Richard Simmons cruise. Like, it's like a Family Guy episode or something. So it's like,
yes.
Could you imagine?
I don't know. Well, listen, entertainment is going to start coming back slowly, but I imagine cruises are probably going to take the longest to come back.
Oh, dude. So
they're
anyway,
already kind of petri dishes, and now I think people are just, I mean, straight up afraid of them.
Yeah. By the way, so my wife and I, we actually bought our first house. And last night we went there because we went to go. She forgot like a check there. She was leaving for the termite people, right? They have to fumigate the house and everything. So while I'm in the car and I'm on Instagram, and this girl Paulina, she's a fighter. She posts a picture and you could just see her nipples. Yeah, but like she's not like, she doesn't have like huge boobs. You know how like girls like now it's like, I guess she has an OnlyFans. So I'm like zooming in, like on my phone. My wife's not in the car, right?
Okay.
But I didn't realize that she was like looking, the window was open, and she goes, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "No, I'm just going through my Instagram." She's like, "Are you zooming on a girl right now?" And I was like, "Yeah, I have to report this. This is to Instagram. This is not." And then she's like, "No, you're not going to report that." I go, "Well, look, she doesn't have huge boobs. That's why I'm zooming. Like I have to."
Oh my God! This is getting.
It just kept getting worse.
Way to go, Costanza.
Yeah, all right. So anyway, I thought that was kind of funny. All right, so let's talk about the fights that happened last week before Don Frye figures out there's a podcast, because I know he didn't watch them. What did you like? I think that obviously Leon Edwards, I don't think he did that illegally. He was winning the fight. I don't think people are going to cheat if they're winning, kind of. But speaking of Don, but at the same time, if you poke a guy and it's a no contest, you got to run it back. Like he's saying there's a title shot next. I think they should have a rematch. I think that
absolutely.
But he's saying no. I was beating the guy up enough, and I should be next in line for a title shot. What are your thoughts?
I think he earned nothing, man. I mean, and that was the thing. It was a bad eye poke. I mean, it wasn't one of the ones where you're like, oh, come on. His eye was completely inflamed. It was clear. It looked like it might have even been bleeding or cut a little bit. Like, it was bad. And you don't get a title shot by fucking eye gouging someone and going, I would have beat him. And fuck, no. You just get a rematch. That's it.
Sean?
Yeah, I was shocked that he didn't want to even talk about a rematch, or like didn't seem sorry really for doing it. But the title shot thing was hilarious. Like if you could get a title shot by sticking your fingers in dudes, Brendan Schaub would have had 3 last week.
And there it is.
I don't know. Yeah, how that I don't know how that equates to a title shot. Like, yeah, and I'm very curious. Why did he not win by disqualification? If the guy last week, Aljamain Sterling, won because of an illegal knee and couldn't continue, why does eye poke not the equivalent of an illegal knee? That confuses me.
Apparently, it was because he said he could continue to fight, but then the doctor said that he couldn't, and because the doctor ended it, that's why it became a no contest.
Don Frye, did you watch the eye poke? Don. Hello.
It sounds like his toast just popped out of the toaster.
All right. So
He may be buttering some toast right now.
yeah,
We'll
I
see.
mean, I don't know. And so now I guess they're making. We're gonna skip ahead, but actually, we'll just get some more of the fights that went on. So yeah, that was crazy. I thought that there was some other good fights though that went on. Ryan Spann looked incredible.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for him because he had won like 8 out of 9 fights and he lost his last one, but it was close. And
I was going to say, yeah, he was coming off that loss, so it was great to see him get back in the win column.
I thought Michael Cape got robbed. I don't understand how he didn't win, but it was against Nikau or something. Nikau he's blaming the saying that Daniel Cormier influenced everybody, but I don't know. There was 2 fights that I thought were Courtney Casey against J.J. Aldrich on the undercard. 39 out of 40 MMA writers had Courtney Casey winning. And then 2 of the 3 judges had her losing. That's statistically like insane. That doesn't make any sense. And that happened, that happened twice on this card where every single MMA writer had the person winning except for 1 and 2 of the 3 judges. I don't understand that at all. McCorkle, talk to me. Sean.
Did he freeze?
Right. Sean's frozen too. All right. Either that or
I'll tell you. Listen, I'll talk to you.
Yeah.
And it just goes to me. That just goes to show you that the writers know as little as we do.
You think so? All right. So Sean's gone. Don Frye, are you with us?
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good, partner. How are you?
Good. Oh, by the way, so there's a guy that hit me up, said he wants to hire you to go teach a seminar, shoot guns, and drink beers with him in Maryland. You said you're down. I gave him your email. I just got back. He just got back to me and said, I emailed Mr. Frye. Haven't heard back from him. Did you receive the message?
Oh, hell, I don't know, partner. I haven't been on my email in a couple of days, so I'll have to look.
Okay, all right. Well, if somebody wants to pay you to teach a seminar, shoot guns, and drink beer, maybe check your email? Maybe?
Yeah, I guess I'll check it now. Yeah, you damn right. You put it in a different format, shit.
Well, how else should
I believe he needs to receive it by carrier pigeon.
Yeah. Don wants it in Morse code.
If you could make the message in icing on a cake and then have the cake delivered, that would be sure he sees it.
What format should he reach you, Don?
Stripper always works,
She's gonna
Strippergram. Is that what it is? Strippergram.
Yeah.
All right, so Don receives all his emails via Strippergram. That's got it. Well, that makes sense.
And they gotta make out the message in a snail trail
So
around the
Yeah.
So Don,
Right.
Don, basically in the last main event, somebody eye poked the other guy. The guy was winning who did the eye poke. The guy who got poked was losing, although he's a very tough guy. He might have come back. They made it into a no contest. The guy who eye poked him says he deserves a title shot. You don't agree with that, right?
He deserves a title shot.
Yeah, I mean, they got to run it back.
Why?
Because he didn't really win. It was stopped doing an eye poke.
But he was beating the guy, correct?
He was beating the guy, but he poked the guy.
Okay. Yeah. Oh boy, not a big deal. By accident.
But it was still pretty early in the fight, Don. I mean, it was barely started in the second. Was it just starting in the second, or was it just about to end in the second?
It was like halfway through the second. Yeah.
All right. Well, so that's the guy who got the guy doing all the mean mugging, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
I didn't think it was possible for your Wi-Fi to get worse. Now,
I was gonna say, are you broadcasting from the moon?
I mean, where are you, Don?
I'm in my bedroom, partner.
All right. Could you walk around to somewhere around the house? Because I can't hear it. It's hard at all. Is there any? There was a couple weeks ago. You had great Wi-Fi. Wherever you were a couple weeks ago, please go there. Please.
Hell, I don't know where the hell I was.
I think what do you think Don Frye's bedroom smells like? I'm gonna say English leather.
Yeah, I would say that. All right. So Eric Anders, all right. He got rocked. He was coming back. That's our boy. And then he kneed a down opponent for the second fucking time.
Oh my God, I know.
What is it with guys that are winning fights that do these moves? Like, and of course that was a no contest too. He was coming back. He was coming back.
You know what's funny too is I'm watching it and you see it right there, and it's like the guy's head is just sitting there like an apple, and ready to, and you're like, and you can see him kind of like, and I remember thinking like, don't do it, Eric, don't do it, and then he fucking did it, and I was like, God damn it, man, you can't. Have we learned nothing in 1 week?
Sean, I mean, you think he's just an athlete? He's a college football player. He gets excited. It's excitement.
Gets like it's his birthday. He starts naming people in the head. No, I'll tell you what, man. I never poked anybody in the eye. I never headbutted anybody. I never kneed anybody down. I never punched anybody in the back of the head. I poked repeatedly, hitting the balls repeatedly, punched in the back of the head, kneed while I was down. I had it all happen to me, so I found it hard to believe it was accidental. Yeah, that's just when I was going on my first honeymoon.
Right?
It was his honeymoon. That's
But that was I found it odd that everyone was doing it to me and I wasn't doing it to anybody else. But it was just accidental every time. Like, wow, that's like John Jones has accidentally poked almost every opponent he's faced the last 10 fights. So
now they're saying they're going to have curved gloves. That's like, well, they're trying to make it so that the gloves are curved to make it so you can't fully extend your hand, which I think if that's out there, why not just try it for like a month and see if it makes a difference? Right, Don?
Well, yeah, that, or just immediately disqualify anybody who's doing the eye pokes. That'll stop that shit. Disqualify them or cause it a loss. Make it a loss. Geez, they'll stop, and then make them give half the purse to the opponent. That shit'll stop. I'll guarantee it.
Yeah. Another fight.
I would say, what about, could you do like no extended fingers on an extended arm? That way, I mean, you could still have them out when you're close for wrestling.
They know that. They know how eye pokes are caused. Okay.
But they let them do it though.
Well, just like McCorkle said, John Jones is a great fucking fighter. He's a great champion. But he's the last 10 guys. He's trying to take their eyeballs home as a souvenir. I mean, come on, tell me he does not know what the hell he's doing.
So
you're right.
So Ashley Yoder, she fought Angela Hill. Angela Hill looked awesome. Ashley Yoder, it bothers me so much when girls go for head and arms over and over again because it's so like a rudimentary move and it almost never works on a higher level. Like it does work sometimes, but I feel like it doesn't work way more. I even tell my kids in wrestling, junior high wrestling, don't go for a head and arm unless you absolutely have to. You're down 10-0 or 12-0 and there's 30 seconds left. And you got to throw a Hail Mary. It's just, it's so frustrating, Don. Is it not frustrating for you to watch that?
Yeah, now Yoder's a good-looking broad, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So right now,
I like Bird to do a head and arm on me,
All right. So right now, Don, there's a huge debate on the underground. Who wins, a prime Royce Gracie or prime Don Frye? No time limit. Right. There's been 78 responses. Let's get your response right off the bat. Who wins, prime Don Frye versus prime Royce Gracie? No time limit. Who wins?
There's even a fucking debate about this? Come on. It's fucking stupid.
All right.
How the fuck can they debate? Royce Gracie had one fucking skill. That was jiu-jitsu. I fought Amari Batesh, who was 150-1, and several-time world champion. He was better than Royce Gracie. And the only reason he had that one loss is because they started celebrating and drinking champagne before the fight. You know, they went out there boogered up. And that's the only reason he lost that one before me. And come on, guys. I had a whole different, complete skill set. Place had one. And I proved that to be, fallible. You know, I mean, it had holes in it, and I proved that against a great jiu-jitsu fighter.
All right, so here's some of the. You want me to read you some of the responses or no?
Sure, let's hear the experts.
All right, so all right, he goes, you are correct. The fight might go on all day. So first one, Frye would have brutalized him. Second one, I pity Frye's kidneys. Third one, Hackney stayed on the feet and hit Hoist. Frye would have brutalized him standing. Somebody said Frye murdered that BJJ guy early in the UFC, but Hoist was much bigger than Frye's opponent, I think. If Frye's kidneys didn't give out, Hoist might have a shot. If they fought 10 times, I think Frye wins 8 of them. Third one goes, it would have been worse than the Amaro Battetti fight, and Don Frye absolutely throttled him. Then somebody says Hoist was 6'1", Battetti was a midget. I think Hoist's style was better for no weight classes than Battetti. Hoist took out Ken Shamrock, then went on to a draw with super roided Shamrock. I think either of those Shamrocks would have beaten prime UFC size Frye. So there is that. Would you care to comment on that one?
Yeah, shit. 8 out of 10 responses were good. That idiot. That idiot didn't know his ass for a hole in the ground, man. Hoist lost that second fight against Ken. Hoist lost. That's all there is to it. You know, Ken hit him once or twice and busted up his face. You know, besides that, it was a snore fest. And I fucked up fighting Ken because I, took a couple pills before the fight. And if I wouldn't have done that, it would have been a faster fight in my favor. But come on, guys. These now sound like
that somebody said Don Frye would have skull fucked Prime Hoist. Someone said Frye was given a black belt in judo because he could hold position and win with 30-second hold downs. Same with Severin. Severin didn't know what a triangle was when he fought Hoist, and he had a black belt as well. I think you can give Frye zero benefit of understanding submissions before he got into NHB. What do you think about that one?
I think that guy's a fucking moron. Look at my fucking fight. Look at my fucking wins in my fights, okay? Go back there and look at my wins. Look at my fights in the UFC. None of my fights.
All right.
Mark Coleman beat the hell out of me.
Okay, I think you're losing the Wi-Fi right now, but I got it. Okay, so are you back?
Yeah, I'm back. Excuse my French. These dumbasses piss me off.
Okay. I'm not gonna keep going if you're gonna be pissed off.
I'm not. Okay, I behave. I apologize.
No, don't apologize. No, I don't care if you don't be sorry. I just don't want you to be upset.
Exactly. We're not trying to piss you off by reading these. We love hearing your true opinions because, these guys, they think they know something. These guys think they know something, and we get to hear it from you, the man, Don Frye. That's what makes it incredible.
Somebody said Frye would have mauled him, especially if he kept it standing. Frye kills him. Hoist's prime was before Frye even fought. Hoist successfully was primarily because no one knew anything about BJJ yet. By the time Frye was around, he already had the skills to destroy Hoist. Somebody said holding rank in judo and knowing illegal wrestling is a far cry from BJJ expertise in 1996.
Wait. Run that one by me again, please.
He goes, somebody says, huge Hoist fan back in the day, but Frye had a judo background. He wasn't submitted ever until Yoshida in 2002. That gives him the ability to beat Hoist up. Battetti didn't even have the striking and defense of Hoist, and look how little damage Hoist took in all his fights. So Hoist lasts a while getting worn down with shots. Eventually, Frye takes it from injury, towel. Then somebody says Frye was given a black belt in judo because he could hold positions. Okay. I think
and we lost him.
All right. Are you guys enjoying this part of the podcast? This is actually kind of fun, right?
I'm loving it. I think you went back too far. You were reading it like 2 minutes. Like I was like, I think you just wanted that last one. You're like, all right, let me go back 6 messages.
No, it's hard because they're on top of each other. They're not. It's like a forum that.
Okay. So you got to read that because I think it was the very last comment was the one that was driving him nuts.
All right.
But I love hearing from the man himself. I mean, we're talking to the man himself, the legend, Don Frye. That's the best part.
All right, so Greg Frye. So how many here think the same Don Frye that was steamrolled by Mark Coleman and struggled with Gary Goodrich would have tapped out Shamrock in UFC 1? Greg Frye?
Absolutely would have tapped them all out. I would have tapped them out in the bathroom before the fights even started. They wouldn't have even been able to make the walk. They'd be so tapped out.
Wow. What would you have done to them in the bathroom?
I would have tapped them out. That's what, you know what I mean? Like, okay, essentially, I'm going to pee, and they're going to pee right next to me, and then they would have seen me tap my dick out, and they would be like, I ain't fighting that giant cock motherfucker. That's how I would have beaten them. Pure dick fear. So
they would have seen your cock and then tapped immediately?
Immediately. They ain't taking this giant cocksucker, motherfucker.
Wow. That's some cock. Like, holy fuck. That's amazing.
Tap him out with my dick.
McCorkle, you're a huge MMA fan, and I would say you're an expert among experts. Hoist Gracie versus Don Frye, prime each, no holds barred, no time limit. Who wins?
It wouldn't be close, man. A lot of people don't know Don was a Division I college wrestler, so Hoist doesn't take getting him to the ground if Don doesn't want to go. And them two standing up would be ridiculous. I mean, it would be Don would beat the brakes off of him standing up. That's not just because I'm a Don Frye fan, though, either. Hoist, I hate to say it, for his time he was great, but he was severely overrated. I mean, he was the Ultimate Fighting champion, and then 10 years or 5 years later, he's losing to Matt Hughes at 170. You know what I mean? Like, and badly losing to Matt Hughes. You know, so who was never that great to begin with.
And I think Don made the exact point at the very beginning of all this, which is Hoist had one skill. You know, and we saw that when he came back to fight Matt Hughes, how that one skill was no longer enough to do anything in the UFC. And Don was a well-rounded fighter. It absolutely would have gone to Don. I think that point was made at the very beginning. That is the most valid point in the argument.
I mean, no disrespect to the Gracies at all, but it does seem like part of the Gracies really have like evolved, like the Henzo camp.
Oh, absolutely.
And other ones are just like, no, it's BJJ or nothing, you know. And it's like anything else. You can't just be a wrestler. You can't just be a kickboxer. You have to evolve. Otherwise, it's just going to pass you. Don, are you back?
Yeah, I'm back. Fine. Apparently, the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu have control over the Wi-Fi in the country. You know, and block me.
All right, so
they have a filter set, and the second you mention a Gracie, it just shuts off your Wi-Fi.
All right, so here, okay, so somebody's saying Frye went his first 7 years without being tapped, and that was only one time he tapped to a submission, besides the possible work with Manawa. He goes, I think the idea that Frye and Sever didn't know submission is just an excuse. They both competed in judo, both got rank, and they never saw a submission at a judo tournament? Yeah, right. They never applied an illegal hold in wrestling? Somebody writes, holding rank in judo and knowing illegal wrestling holds is a far cry from BJJ expertise in 1996.
All right, that guy's a freaking idiot. Where's the Jiu-Jitsu is just a small part of judo, okay? A very small part. Newa is a groundwork. You know, judo, they throw your ass on your head, yeah, you know, and then they go to submit. You know, they got takedowns, they got throws, which is a takedown. It's a redundant statement, but yeah, you know, escape. But jiu-jitsu is just what they grab you around the neck and then they jump you know, around your waist. Fuck, that's what a girl does in a movie, man. Come on.
I mean,
it's not a fighting skill.
I mean, the fact that somebody says The fact that somebody says you can get a black belt in judo because you're good at takedown defense is insane. I mean, they don't just give out black belts in judo to anyone good at. In that case, every wrestler in the history of wrestling in college would have a black belt in judo because they're good at takedown defense. I mean, that's
dude. Every fat kid in the kids class would be a black belt in judo because they would just lay on top of the little kids. They'd be like, "Wow, they can't get up. Here's your black belt, kid."
So then,
that's so stupid. That's how stupid these people are.
So then somebody writes, how many here thinks the same Don Frye that was steamrolled by Coleman and struggled with Gary Goodrich would have tapped out Ken Shamrock in UFC 1 or dealt with super roided Shamrock to a draw? So then somebody writes, Frye didn't struggle with Goodrich at all. He completely dominated him. Shamrock basically laid in Hoist's guard for 30 minutes. He gave Hoist too much respect and just wanted to prove he can keep from being submitted. The small amount of striking he did on the feet brutalized Hoist. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, but the thing is, here's the deal. Everybody has fallen into this jiu-jitsu bullshit. I mean, just get up and walk away. That's what I tell people when I do a seminar. I go, look, we go to the ground. What do you do from there? I just stand up and walk away, And I go, but you're not fighting. Well, neither is he, I mean, but I'm controlling it by walking away. I'm taking away his ability to fight. I mean, it's stupid because we got sucked into it. And so we stayed there. We laid in the nonsense guard rather than just get up and walk away and make them fight stand up because they had no takedown.
Somebody else says, tough fight. I just can't see Hoist subbing Frye unless he takes in the very deep waters. Hoist would do much better. Would definitely taken much shots by then. He would do much better than Battetti. Using Battetti as an example is crazy. Hoist was 50 times MMA fighter. So it kind of depends on who's having the better night. And this isn't jacked Pride FC Frye. It's UFC 96 Frye. So Hoist had also not lost a fight at the time. Although I consider his fight with Shamrock kind of a loss. This is a great fight, not the squash beatdown the Hoist haters think. I go 6 wins out of 10 for Frye. The thoughts?
Well, sure. I mean, I give Hoist respect. I want to give him 6 out of 10. But I'm sitting here and I'm beating him down, and the Gracies did us all a great favor. They came here and they changed, the face of martial arts, not just in the United States, but the world over. Because we all thought, it was a stand up with these high karate kicks and all this nonsense, and nobody ever thought about going to the ground and submitting people. And when they did it, they completely changed martial arts for the world and put money in all of our pockets. But it took us, Hoist dominated, the first 4? And then, barely 5. I mean, and then I came in at 8 and changed the sport. I mean, that was like half a year later. And that's what Americans do. Americans take something and we improve it. We make it our own.
That's one way of defining it.
Like we did this entire country.
Somebody else.
We steal it, we make it a little better, and we call it our own. That's what we did.
So somebody writes, Frye wins, but Hoist was durable as fuck. He went 90 minutes with Prime Sakuraba. Also, what about his rematch first fight with Yoshida? Depends which Frye we're talking about. Is it pre-roids Frye, who weighs 210 pounds, or roided up Frye, who weighed like 230? Frye still wins. Comment on that one. Don, he left? Did he leave that one?
I think we may have lost him, yeah.
You think he got mad or no on that one?
No. It's just, the internet falls in and out. That's all.
Okay, all right.
He just didn't even heard you.
I think it's amazing these guys on the underground aren't making a living betting on fights because they're not only saying who would win between 2 fighters from 2 different eras, they're saying how many out of 10 each guy would win. Like if you're picking that, you should easily be able to pick who wins the next UFC title fight.
How many times?
It's just funny. I bet these guys never in a million years thought the real Don Frye would hear their comments and directly respond to them. I mean, that is the magic of this podcast.
And then call them morons, too.
Yeah, right off the bat. That guy doesn't know shit. They didn't know fucking. They weren't in there. You gotta take a bend them in half, make a little cookie out of them. Don't forget, you gotta put it in the little, the Chinese saying. It's a very different game back then.
Oh, is he coming back? Fuck. All right. We'll talk about. All right. So, UFC Dana White announced they're going back to Florida in front of full crowds. Jacksonville, Florida. People
and they're giving them a hell of a lineup too.
Yeah, they're going Usman versus Masvidal, which I wish it was Colby versus Usman. I'm not gonna lie, I don't understand why they wouldn't just make that fight. But fuck it. I mean, I guess Masvidal, they told him show up on short notice and then you're guaranteed a rematch even if you lose. I think that's what must have happened. But also, I mean, look, Masvidal's coming off one loss. So who knows? He's not coming off like 3 or 4 losses. And he looked great before that. Also, Rose versus Chang. And Don, you back?
Yeah. I don't know what's going on today. I think the Democrats and liberals are blocking me from visiting the country.
Oh, no, the liberals are enjoying this just fine. I don't consider myself a
So did you hear the last one about which Frye they're talking about?
Oh, what?
All right, they go, it depends which Frye we're talking about. Is it pre-steroids Frye, who weighed 210, or roided up Don Frye, where he weighed like 230? I still think Frye wins. So which Frye? So
what's the purpose of that comment if I win?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, either way he wins, then who fucking cares? And then it's Don Frye or bigger Don Frye. Like,
either wins. Like,
which one we're talking about? Either one would win. Yeah.
Right. And they give me proof I was on steroids.
Yeah, right.
When I first walked into the cage, I was a fireman. My days off, I was shoeing horses. I was working 7 days a week. Then I was going to judo and running and all that stuff. So, yeah, my weight was way down. You try shooing horses in the Arizona sun, asshole. Let's see what you keep on for weight.
Exactly. There's no proof that Don Frye was on steroids. You heard it here first, motherfuckers. All right.
Yeah, and I'm glad you addressed that because I thought that was awfully presumptuous for them to think that over the course of your fighting career, you couldn't just put on 20 pounds of muscle based on differences in nutrition, how much you're fighting, how much you're not fighting. I think that's very asshole assumptive of them to just say that that's what it was.
Exactly.
Fuck that.
Well, here's the thing. That's what I'm saying. There's a difference between amateur, semi-pro, and pro. I went from having 2 jobs and training to just training. Yeah, because I made enough money to where that was my job. I was a pro. You're not a pro if you have a job that's sustaining your life, and then you're working out on top of that to fight. You're a pro if all you do is train to fight. If that job gives you money,
So
are you a pro?
It's the same.
Are you a professional comedian? If you're working at flipping burgers and then to open mics, are you a pro comedian? No, you're not a pro comedian.
So
that's exactly what I was going to say, is that in comedy, it's the same thing. Initially, you have to have your day jobs, and then you're doing the shows. Then you start getting paid, and you get a little bit of money, and then it becomes your full-time job. And then, yes, you are a professional full-time comedian. So it's very much the same way, only the weight difference. We gain weight the same way, but it's not from muscle. So...
So somebody said chemo gave Hoist all he could handle. Frye would maul him. And then somebody goes, Frye would beat him between 8 and 12 minutes.
Holy shit.
So he said, with all due respect to Frye, I think Royce wins. The longer the match goes, Frye finds himself in way too deep. I don't know about that.
Well, that was the whole theory behind Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. Is the smaller guy should win by outweighting the big guy. You know? Okay, so you're outweighting me in the bar or on the street. You know, one of my buddies will come and kick you in the head, or we're both going to go to jail, and then I'll finish the fight in jail.
Somebody said in their prime, I take Don.
Where's the logical tactics to I'll hold you down for 30 minutes, you know, and then choke you out of our bar you?
Because I think Don would prepare for a 2-hour potential fight and sprawl and brawl. Royce made crazy endurance, but Royce succumbed to Sakuraba under similar rules. Oh, he's gone again. All right. So
let me ask you this. Which was the fight, still to me the greatest exchange in all of MMA history, was the one with Don Frye and the big Asian dude where they're just punching each other in the face. Takayama. Yes, Takayama, that one. To me, in my mind, that will always be the single greatest first minute of any fight ever.
Ever. All right, so let's talk about that thing in Jacksonville. It's Rose versus Zhang, Shevchenko versus Andrade, Usman versus Masvidal. You're right, and it's the first live.
Unbelievable card, great card.
I'm picking right now. I'm picking Usman. I'm picking Zhang over Rose as much as I want Rose to win. And Shevchenko, I think, is going to be too slick for Andrade. Seems like Andrade does really well against everybody except for the best couple people, like people at that highest level, the Joanna Jędrzejczyks or the other girl. That it just seems like she just has trouble with somebody who's like super technical, and I think Shevchenko knows that. Thoughts on this, McCorkle?
I agree with you, except I think Rose will win. Not even that she's necessarily the better fighter. She just, I don't know, man. She pulls out some stuff sometimes just crazy, like wins, I think, fights she shouldn't win. But I don't understand for the life of me the Masvidal Usman too. Like, it's going to look just like the first one. Usman's going to wrestle fucking till through 5 rounds. Colby's a much better fight, much more interesting fight. If I had to guess, and I don't know how much the UFC lets you pick and choose, but I know Usman would rather fight George, as the underground would say, 8 out of 10 times. Like he'd rather fight him, because it's he can just wrestle and he cannot wrestle Colby. So it's a weird. I know Masvidal's going to sell a lot of pay-per-views, and maybe that's what they want to do, go big with that. But
I think the opposite. I think I think Colby and Florida equals more pay-per-views. In my opinion.
Colby and Masvidal even, man. I would love to see that one. I thought that was going to happen still.
You think maybe that, like, they want to do the Ultimate Fighter and they're going to have Colby versus the winner of that fight as the coaches? And
they could. That'd be a great idea. If they do it, that'd be great.
They might do that.
So, Don, you're back.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, partner.
That's all right, man. It's all good. Listen, I'm happy that you're able. This has been a lot of fun going over whether or not you would beat a prime Royce Gracie.
And I was saying, Don, to me, the first minute, the only minute, or well, I guess the first minute of the fight between you and Takayama, where you guys just punched each other in the face for 30 seconds, 45 seconds, that to me is still the greatest first minute of any fight in MMA history. It will always be the greatest. I don't know if you could ever do better.
So, and then somebody writes, how does a young in prime Royce beat Frye? He's not going to outstrike him on the feet. He's not going to take him down. He's not going to tie him up in the guard and control him. He's not going to wear him down. The fight will go where Don wanted to go. There's nothing personal here, in my opinion. And then someone goes the same way he beat Severn. Wait for him to be tired and make mistakes. And then somebody writes, Severn was a better wrestler than Frye, but Frye is good enough to keep the fight down anytime he wanted. Frye's a much better striker, has better movement. He can make Royce pay for his bull rushing clinches. Frye had better ground strikes and would be headbutting Royce too. I think the Royce has going for him is his gi. Royce could be half dead and still gi choke you. Unless you train the gi extensively, it'd be hard to avoid Royce's sneaky attacks. If Royce's side, Frye did gas, so then that's that. What are your thoughts on that one?
Well, that was semi-intelligent, you know. Crime.
Well, there you go. Hey, listen.
But the thing is Dan took Hoist down because Dan had no stand-up skill. I had stand-up skill. There was absolutely no way Hoist could take me down. You know, so what if I decide just to stand up and fight and that bugs his ears? You know, he had no stand-up game, and there's no way he could take me down because, I mean, what's he going to do? Like I said, he's going to jump on me and wrap his legs around me like we on a date. Well, you know, I didn't find that attractive to go down the mat with him. Shit.
All right.
How is he going to beat me?
Right, right. I agree with you. And I totally agree with you. How's he going to beat you? You have too many weapons. Before, what's the name said, Greg Frye said he would look at your cock and then tap out immediately. I'm not sure if that's what would have happened. But, so that was.
Hey, man, I'm hung like a field mouse. You know, shit, it was hypnotizing. Like, you know, if I was to fight Hoist in a jiu-jitsu match, he'd destroy me in 30 seconds. Maybe not 30, but I mean, you know, jiu-jitsu's his skill. Fighting mine. There's a difference. But, if I was, you know,
I think he would beat you in Wi-Fi too. All right.
Get you set up with that Elon Musk.
So let's talk about the fights this weekend. We got Derek Brunson versus Kevin Holland. By the way, I watched Holland spar over when I was at Syndicate. He talked shit the entire time. He was like, he doesn't just talk shit in his fights. He is talking the entire time to whoever he's sparring with, clowning the person, doing funny moves, spinning shit. Like, that's how he trains. That's how he gets in the zone. Good or bad.
Well, that's smart. That's smart. You train how you fight. I mean, that's why I tell everybody, you know, you should have your goddamn mouthpiece in when you're lifting weights, when you're jogging, when you're working the bag, obviously, you know, you're doing push-ups, sit-ups. Get used to your damn mouthpiece. So you have to train the way you're going to fight. And if you're talking shit in the fight, well, then you talk shit. I mean, it's just like practicing your joke set, right? I mean, you just don't go out there without trying it. Crime, and you practice it.
Exactly. That's why I drink during the day.
McCorkle, did anybody ever talk shit to you during your fights?
No, I had a guy one time, I picked a guy up and slammed him, and he told me, he said, man, you're really strong, which threw me completely off because I assumed he was being serious because I slammed him. But no, I normally didn't talk too much. I talk a lot before, but during the fight, it's an odd thing if someone starts talking to you. You know, it's really weird. I did when I fought in El Paso, Texas. Somehow they made me the main event of some show that Don was commentating in Texas, and they sold like 12,000 tickets with me as the main event against some guy no one had ever heard of. And so I heard Don talking shit about me while I was fighting, which like killed my, like I could actually hear him. He's like, McCorkle looks like he's about done. Meanwhile, I'm murdering this guy. Like, I'm absolutely killing him. He's like, man, McCorkle looks tired. And I'm like, I am tired, dude. Like, if Don can see it, everybody must be able to see it. And I end up losing. So I blame Don for that. 8 out of 10 times I would have won that fight if Don wasn't bad-mouthing me during the fight. But yeah, it's he was saying stuff like, man, McCorkle looks like he's about done. Like I heard him say it, I looked over like, dang, Don, you're my hero. But
now,
well, I had your name and the other guy's name mixed up, you know.
Right.
So.
We were both unknown at the time. So.
Don, did anybody ever talk shit to you while you were fighting him?
No, but Gary Goodridge, you know, started talking to me, and like Sean said, throws you off. He's like, damn, you're strong, you know, shit, you hit hard. He was like, all this. And I'm like, well, not hard enough, obviously, you know, you're still standing there. But, yeah, it throws you off, especially when they compliment you. I mean, talking shit, I can understand. Well, then that fucking first 2 fights against that idiot Mark Hall. the first fight he was saying, I said, man, you need to quit. No. And his corner's telling him something. He's telling them, shut up. And I'm like, man, you need to quit it. You got nothing, you're doing nothing. No, I'm not going to quit, all right.
So I tell you what though, in this fight, I like Derek Brunson. Everyone's gonna pick Kevin Holland. I know he's gonna be the favorite. He's on a huge winning streak, but I think Derek has seemed to really come into his role of the spoiler, and he doesn't want to be the gatekeeper, and they keep putting him as the gatekeeper, and I really think he's sending these people back down, and so I don't know. I think Derek, he looked great in his last fight against the last couple fights. So I like Brunson in this one. You, Greg?
You know what? For me, it's a toss-up. I think these guys, this is a great fight, and I think they're pretty evenly matched, and I can see it going either way. So I don't know. It's a coin flip for me.
Sean, are you back, McCorkle? No. All right, Don, who do you like in this fight? Brunson or Holland?
I have no idea. I don't know either one of them. I'm still thinking about that cute blonde chick, Yoda. Shit.
All right.
Yoda.
Also in this card, Gregor Gillespie, who's a national champion wrestler, who beat Vince Pichel, who was on a tear until he ran into Kevin Lee's shin. Remember, that fight was Kevin Lee kicked him in the head, knocked him out for 8 minutes. Dude hasn't fought in 2 years. But they got him up against a guy, Brad Riddell, who's won 6 in a row, but he's from New Zealand, and they're not known for their wrestling, people from New Zealand. So I think Gillespie is going to just take him down and grind it out in this one. McCorkle?
I lost you guys. Last thing I heard is people from New Zealand aren't good wrestlers. So who's fighting? I didn't get to hear that part.
Gregor Gillespie, national champion, who's the one who fought Kevin Lee, knocked him out cold. He's fighting this guy, Brad Riddell, who won 6 in a row from New Zealand.
I'll go with the guy not from New Zealand.
What about Derek Brunson versus Kevin Holland?
Man, a lot of them guys look the same to me, and I don't mean black guys. I mean people at 185. So I can't really remember.
Thank you for that very important clarification.
I get Brunson mixed up with 4 other guys. So, I don't know. I'd say Brunson has more name recognition, so I'd go with him.
All right, these are incredible picks so far.
Well, honestly, this is a lineup of who's who. I mean, I mean, we're on the second fight, Gillespie versus Riddell, and I don't know who the fuck these dudes are. I know Ty Tuivasa, I like him, but I mean, there's a lot of names here that I don't fucking recognize. Max Griffin, I like that guy, but they're not fighting each other, so I'm in the same boat.
Macy Chase.
I'll take Peter Griffin.
I like Max.
He'll hold him down for 3 minutes.
Marion Renault, who's like the Belizean, the hot Belizean girl. She was the school teacher. She got I think she got COVID or one of her got COVID. She's fighting Macy Chasen. She's the girl who won the Ultimate Fighter, who hits like a brick. That should be a good fight. Grant Dawson, who's 15-1, is fighting Leonardo dos Santos. Santos hasn't lost since 2009. He's 18-3. That should also be a great fight. There's going to be a lot of bangers on this card that people don't know. I know them because I'm friends with them and had them on the podcast. But this is going to be one of those cards. I guarantee it's going to be amazing fights, and people are going to be happy they tuned in. Versus those cards that everyone knows who they are, and the fights just suck. They all end in eye pokes or fucking downed opponents or some other.
Yeah, this is
you sell the event, man. You should be getting paid by the UFC for marketing. You know that?
Well, I mean, these guys. That's actually a good card. I'll say it when the card isn't that great, but this is actually good. Also, this week, Sean, your buddy Pujanowski's fighting this week.
Is he? I had no idea. Is he fighting in Bellator? Is that why I haven't heard about it?
No, Bellator. I don't even know what he's doing. He's fighting in KSW. Your boy Pujanowski's fighting. How old's that guy now? He's got to be 50, right?
I think he's my age, so he's got to be 44. I think we're almost exactly the same age. So
Wow. I mean, he doesn't have that.
he looks younger than me because he's had far more HGH than I've had over the period of years. But I think that's what's keeping him young. But
I know a comedian.
Let's talk about the fight though that I think everybody wants to see. McCorkle Schwab.
Yeah, please.
Let's talk about it because, is this something that we can make happen? I mean, you do, Adam, have a great relationship with the UFC as well as all these other fighting organizations. And I think we have a real hot one on our hands here.
Well, I know the UFC would not want to make Brendan Schaub any money. It's the personal shit that went on between Dana and Schaub that was not very good. I do think.
All. How come we don't have that fight? I mean, come on. If they keep saying this is an animal sport, blah, 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 human cockfighting, blah, blah, blah. Well, let's do winner take all. You know that?
Wait, what? What are you talking about?
In every fight?
No, just this fight. I mean, just to try something different.
McCorkle versus Schaub, winner take all.
Yeah.
I absolutely do that.
But I'm telling you, I think a lot of organizations would go for it. I know definitely we had Sean Merriman on. Merriman wants to fight Shaquille O'Neal. I think he would do this in a heartbeat. But you said McCorkle, you come out of retirement for this fight, right?
I would, man. If I get to punch Schaub in the face at least once, I win either way. So I don't care about a purse. But yeah, no, I would absolutely fight Schaub, bad back and all, and I would beat him.
But I mean, you haven't worked out in like how many years?
I don't know. I may have trained him probably, since I started. No, I haven't trained in probably 6 years. You give me 3 months, I could beat Schaub. I could beat Schaub anyway, but I would beat him easily.
Wow. I mean,
you heard it here first, right here on MMA Roasted.
But that's a hard. I mean, but you haven't worked out in 6 years. So what would you do? How do you get?
He hasn't told a good joke in 6 years, but he's still doing stand-up. So I guess we're both coming from the same place. So.
Yeah, and I'd say, Adam, would you challenge Joe Rogan to a comedy face-off?
Oh, a comedy face-off, 100%. But that's it. That or a wrestling match. Anything other than that, nothing.
No,
What about stool humping? Do you think you could take him and humping a stool? I've seen Joe do some crazy stool humping.
Joe Rogan, people like shit on his comedy. They're like, oh, he happens to be a great comic. Like he is a hilarious comic and nothing but props to Rogan. I don't see where I could beat him other than wrestling, other than straight folk style wrestling. Maybe.
No, I think we'd make it a comedy match. Your stand-up versus his stand-up. You guys would be the opening match. We decided by audience applause.
He takes a lot longer, though. Like, I think I would do better in a shorter set. I mean, his set,
we would make it. There would be a time.
Like him and
a 5-minute set or a 10-minute set or something like that.
Like him and Chappelle are amazing, but they also have like they've earned it. They do like hour sets, like they have a lot longer to tell jokes,
I just think, but I mean, so we just get together, decide on a time. Because if you're going to do a versus thing.
He hates Brendan Schaub. I don't hate Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's a friend.
I know, but I'm just saying, at this point, it's a podcast versus podcast thing. And I think we just make it.
Who are you going to challenge?
I don't know. Who's left? Ari Shaffir? I don't know.
Oh, fuck yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, Ari.
I just wonder if either one of you guys would challenge Brendan Schaub in stand-up comedy.
Oh,
well,
I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know.
Okay, but I mean, we want to see you fight Brendan Schaub, and then we'll take we'll do the comedy match, and it'll be like that.
I'm in.
Adam, you take on Joe Rogan. I'll take on Ari Shaffir, and you will fight. And the big main event would be McCorkle versus Schaub in a fight.
I would 100% clout chase Rogan. Any give me any of those followers. Fuck it. Like there's not like a lose there, So Don, so the guy who hired me, the guy wants to hire you. He's gonna fly you out to Maryland to shoot guns and hang out with you. He's bringing in Hoist Gracie. Maybe you guys could do the fight then. What are you gonna? How are you as far as seminar teaching? You can still teach moves, right?
Yeah, of course, absolutely. Just I don't do the Bruce Lee kung fu. Jump over the stoop and the kit, but I can still teach fighting.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. I see you as like that guy.
My joke, man.
I can see you like in like dodgeball, the Rip Torn part, as like the guy throwing the wrenches. I could see Don Frye sitting in a wheelchair, like throwing wrenches at people as they're doing MMA, like doing it wrong. He fucking just.
You know what this is going to turn into? This is going to turn into Don Frye and McCorkle doing comedy matches against Sham and somebody else, and then you and I are going to wind up in fights against like, the other guys, and it's going to be a horror show.
Yeah, pretty much.
And by the way, I would like to note, I respect Ari Shaffir, and I think he's a very good comic.
Yeah, I'm not even sure he's like allowed to even. Where's he been since the whole Kobe thing? Remember that? That was.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. You were just the only one I was thinking of. That's a comedian that's in that sphere. I guess there's also, and again, an old friend of ours, Louis J. Gomez, is in that realm. And
well, I think Gomez is fighting Ellis. Gomez is fighting Jason Ellis.
Oh, that's right. They're going to do an actual fight, though, right?
Yeah.
Let's put this on that card. Let's put the McCorkle Shop fight on the same card.
No, they got to make money. McCorkle's got to make money for this.
I think it would make money.
Oh, totally it would make money. 100%. You have to get Mitrione to fucking come train you.
Yeah, who?
Matt Mitrione?
Yeah, I didn't train with Matt when we were in the UFC. I couldn't get him to train with me, so it wouldn't matter. I'd probably hire Bob Sapp for his pharmaceutical knowledge and probably get a start there. He could be my personal steroid coach, Ember Pujanowski, and we could go from there. But
didn't Mitrione fly you out to Vegas to train and then not pick you up any days?
Yeah, except he didn't pay for the flight. Matt's like, hey man, if you fly out to Vegas, train with me for a week. I got a place for you to stay. You know, I'll pay for your flight, pay for everything. I get out there. I didn't see him one time for the 6 days I was in Las Vegas. Like he just ghosted me. I was out there doing nothing for 6 days. Like calling him every morning, like, dude, like leaving voicemails. Are you coming to get me? Are we training? He would text me later on the afternoon. My bad, man. We'll do it tomorrow. I was there 6 days. Did not see him once and flew back to Indianapolis and never got my money for the flight. So, Mitrione.
That guy's a waste of flesh. He's a fucking waste.
So,
his name sounds like a real bad lounge act, you know? Matt Mitrione, the piano lounge singer.
So Bobby Lashley is now the WWE champion. He said he wants to wrestle Brock Lesnar or fight Brock Lesnar. In a fight, Brock kills him, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I would sure think so.
A wrestling match, too, yes.
Yeah, I mean,
8 out of 10 times Brock takes that. My opinion.
I mean, is there any chance of him of Lesnar winning? I mean, of Lashley winning that fight? No, right?
2 out of 10, yeah, just like just like Matthew Gilmer. I'm sorry, Sean McCorkle said.
So
that's technically known as 20%.
So yes. So yeah, that was one of the funniest things though. I can't believe people are still talking about Don Frye versus it's like 5 pages long. There's like 98 comments of people arguing who would win. A Prime versus he goes, Frye and Shamrock had a pretty even fight, and even the best common opponent, I'm not sure who would win. I have to favor Frye, but no time limit would have made it tougher. Does no time limit make it tougher for you, Don?
No, not at all. I never got gassed in any of my fights. Even when I was on the pills, the only time I did is when I was on withdrawals once.
Oof.
Yeah.
Those damn pills. Those pills will get you, man. They hook you. Get the claws in you fast.
So,
yeah, they cost me a lot of money.
We can laugh about it now.
Somebody said the gi adds another dimension where even a gassed hoist could pull off an Ezekiel choke on Don Frye. Would that happen?
No, Don Frye's not dumb enough to stick his neck there for it. Come on, people. I mean, the reason Hoyt dominated the first three or first two, actually. Nobody knew what the hell was going on. What was being delivered to them. And once
Yeah.
So,
and then somebody says Hoist might have lost against Chemo if it wasn't for Chemo's ponytail. So he used the ponytail to win. And Don didn't have a ponytail.
Right.
Well,
hey, Don knew how to fight. Chemo.
That's the other part. That's the other thing.
Yeah, Chemo was a bull in a china shop. I like Chemo, but he had no skill. He just had super fucking strength. Fuck.
Yeah.
Somebody said if Hoist got steamrolled by Matt Hughes, then why would you think he could beat a larger version of Matt Hughes? Were you a larger version of Matt Hughes?
Matt didn't have my skill set either, you dumb fuck. That's why.
That guy picked Don to win, and he's still a dumb fuck.
Oh, man.
All right. Well, listen, I think that's our podcast today. Greg, what do you have coming up?
Guys, the kid is back. I'm back on these streets. I'm going to be coming out to the El Paso comic strip May 25th through the 28th. And then April 2-3, I will be at the Stir Crazy Comedy Club in Phoenix. And then April 5th through 11th, I will be at the LA Comedy Club at the Strat in Las Vegas.
McCorkle?
Exactly the same as Greg on all points. That's my weekend and next couple weeks. Except for the comedy and the travel.
Don Frye. Don Frye, what do you got?
Yeah, me too. I'm following you and I'm following Greg around. I'm gonna echo you all, for the rest of the year.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, Don. If you show up at my show, I'm putting you on stage on a stool and handing you a mic and letting you do commentary through the whole fucking thing.
Dude,
you think I'm wasting prime, Don Frye? Not a chance.
Dude, the fact that Don's got mad that someone picked him. He goes, Matt didn't have my skill either, you dumb fuck. That might be the funniest. I didn't expect that at all. That was the funniest response. You got angry that someone called you a better version of a guy. All right.
It wasn't enough.
This Saturday night, if you want to watch me, I'm at Flappers Comedy Club. I got 10 tickets that I can give if you want to come live, or you can watch it virtually. Just go to my Instagram and I'll have the link. I'm at the House of Comedy in Phoenix, March 25th to the 28th. The Comedy Catch in Chattanooga, Tennessee, April 2nd and 3rd. The Casino Inn in Alpine, California, April 9th. I'm at the Boca Black Box in Boca Raton, Florida, April 23rd and 24th. And I'm doing the Sea Legs at the Beach in Orange County with Jamie Kennedy, April 30th. And then May 7th and 8th, I'm at the OB Fuck House in San Diego. So
what? Is that
that's
really
not to do comedy. That's not to do comedy.
Right. Yeah.
That's just to get it. That's just to get in trouble with the wife. By the way, also this Sunday, Adam and I will be doing a benefit show on Zoom, so anyone from anywhere can watch it. It's for the Animal Tracks Animal Rescue that's just north of Los Angeles here in California. So if you want, and then we'll just be taking donations throughout the show. So if you want to RSVP for that show, just go to my Instagram. It's in my bio, Greg Romero Wilson, and that's this Sunday at 8:30. Both Adam and I are on that show.
Well, listen, Don, thank you for being such a good sport about that thing. Because I know some people said some shit about you, and you handled it with great class. And so thank you. Thank you, Don.
That's okay. I don't remember any of it already.
You guys, I love you guys. Take care. Have a good week.
Take care.
Good luck.